Hey, Shalom. Call law, y'all by Shem Yabushai, by Shem Kwakadash, the Divine said Apostle, Elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you, brothers. I just wanted to do a quick hit because even in 2018, you still have people who don't want to. You still have Israelites. They don't want to go back to their heritage. They don't want to get right. And really, when you look at it in depth, they don't know what they want. They don't know if they want America to continue because it's going to involve them being persecuted. And they don't know if they want to try and attempt to help seal the elect to reach the kingdom of heaven, to become in rulership, because that would have them. They would have to labor for it. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't want to put the work in to do either. So you still have a lot of stagnant Israelites who they want to kind of be against the energy of America because they can see through the media, through the news, that America's full of shit. You know, they try to put out the energy they put out basically is for America to make improvements, America to change, when America is still true to its foundation. But at the same time, they don't want a new place, a new kingdom to rise up. They don't want America to stop and discontinue because of the goodies or because of the way that they feel, because they've drunken the wine of America, basically. They've become Americanized. This is Romans 10:2. For I bear them record. By fact, let's start at verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Word there is zeal, zelos. Meaning excitement of mind, ardor, fervor of spirit. Yeah, because our people, they do have a fervor of spirit for a higher power. They do, when they see us out with the Bible, sometimes they inquire. Of course, you know, you have YouTube. Everybody's on YouTube kind of doing the information grab, looking for answers. They have a zeal, like it's going to tell you. But not according to knowledge. So they don't want to, because the men of the Lord, the scriptures talk about your eyes shall see your teachers. And then, of course, you know, you have to go out on the highways and byways and teach. At the chief place of concourse is where you're supposed to go. People will inquire about the scriptures. They'll come on YouTube. They'll watch the videos and subscribe because they see us post something they consider controversial or of entertainment value. Or like it's been said, you have an Edomite will come. They'll bow or whatever, or they'll admit it. They'll throw Edomites under the bus or whatever. But when it comes to getting back to how we're supposed to be, Israel doesn't want to eat the whole roll. Israel wants to play around. They want to continue on in the ways of entertainment. They want to follow after the flesh, which we know, of course, is death. Matter of fact, Romans 8:6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now if any man have not the spirit of Yahushua Hamashiach, he is none of his. But if Yahushua be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. And that's one thing about our people. We've been in the scriptures repeat that a lot too. You have a lot of our people in a dead state, a state of darkness, a state of disarray, because number one, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But not only that, they buy into the shit. We come out and we expose it, and we bring the news out, and our people still, they'll know that Esau is the devil, or they'll know that it's going to be some bullshit that comes with signing that contract to sell their soul to Esau, but they'll do it anyway. They know, because and a lot of these people, like I said, they watch our videos, they'll get on the comment board, or they'll give it a thumbs down or something. Hey, we're not here to entertain you. You know, if you want entertainment, you got a million people on TV, on YouTube, on the internet, and they're trying to entertain you, make you laugh, give you some controversy, or any of that stuff. We're really here for our people to come back to the Most High through His Son, Yahushua. That's why, and it talked about, what is it? Yeah, it said the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. And because you are supposed to rehearse the scriptures talk about Judges 5 and 11, they will rehearse the righteous acts. We are supposed to rehearse the righteous acts. We are supposed to try to do our best to go back into that spirit, because when you're getting into the spirit of something, right, like Esau, they do all these movies and these plays and stuff, and when they do these movies, they have the actor, a lot of these actors, they get into the spirit of that character, and the ones who channel that character the best, those are the best actors. That's why you have something in Hollywood called typecasting. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up. Typecasting: assign an actor or actress repeatedly to the same type of role as a result of the appropriateness of their appearance or previous success in such roles, which us as the prophets, the scriptures talk about the spirit of the prophet. Matter of fact, let's get it's 1 Corinthians 14 and 32, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. That's right. So you have certain people set up to be prophets, which Lord willing, I hope that's me. I hope I'm one of the elect. I'm hopeful of that. And the brothers all across the country who do the same as me, who are also preaching and teaching through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they say they're the same thing. The spirit is subject to the prophets. And going back to typecasting, even in Esau's movies, like I was saying, it's going to say an actor is sometimes so strongly identified with a role as it makes them difficult to find work playing other characters. And then it's going to give different examples, William Shatner in Star Trek, and all these different other people. Basically typecasted, man. We're typecasted to be prophets. You have people set up to be scoffers. You have people set up to be you have people set up to be gladiators, athletes, right? Who in the ancient times, they were doing the same thing. They were a gladiator in the arena. They were an athlete. You have people set up to be rulers and leaders, on wicked rulers, wicked leaders. That's what you have now. Donald Trump, the whole United States regime. These people are set up to play the part of the wicked. And how do you know that? By their fruits, by their works. So even Esau knows that. You have typecasted. We are typecasted to be prophets. And our people really, being the Israelites, we're typecasted to be kings and prophets. Because we're the golden apple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 11, but if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by the spirit that dwelleth in you. And that's what it's about. It's about that quickening in your spirit and in this rotting ass flesh. Part of that quickening, of course, is going back to your culture. Of course, I gotta get. We always bring out Jeremiah 6, going back to who you are. Like I was saying about the typecasting, you had this guy Michael B. Jordan in the Black Panther movie. He played Killmonger. You know, he was the star of the show pretty much. But basically, he was saying in interviews he was that character for a couple months by himself. And that's how he was able to do it so well. He played that character. But us, we're not actors. Our spirit is really going back to what we were before. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Of course, Jeremiah 6:16, thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And that's what's going on now in America. We keep telling our people, stop walking in the ways of America. Stop bleaching your skin. Stop going to these churches that go back to, like we always say, plantation Christianity. Hell, in many cases, we even say, hey, don't even go to certain restaurants. Don't even go to McDonald's and Popeye's Chicken and all these nasty ass fast food places, because the demons that go along with them making that food, they hop on you. And that's another thing too, the dietary law. We go into the dietary law. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Matter of fact, yeah, we go into the dietary law. We talk about we talk about how the skin of the prophets of the Lord looked, how the Lord himself looked. He was a dark-skinned man. He'd be considered a so-called black man in this society, woolly hair. We talk about everything. We talk about the different things that the priests wore, the different herbs that was used by the priests and by the ancient Israelites. We talk about, how they carried themselves amongst the brotherhood and amongst their families. And even when we were in Esau's society before, how they carried themselves before with the knowledge that they were Israelites. And our people still don't want to heed and still don't want to listen. And they want a couple crumbs, they want a couple pennies. But to this day in 2018, you don't have any elites in America. You don't have any Israelites in America who answer to nobody. Somebody who answers only to themselves. They live how they want to live. You don't have any of us like that. All of us are subject, basically as slaves in this place. Now you have slaves with a little more and slaves with a little less, but you're still a slave. And that's the purpose, man, of us being here. This was a punishment. That's why we're telling our people, get your mind out of this place. But let the scriptures speak. This is Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? If it thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. And one of the main one, once again, is religion. these different religions that America has created and brought in, and they give 501c3 charters and allow these preachers to teach all of it to capture your mind and capture your soul. Which your soul, that's your energy. We talked about zeal. A zeal is just a small amount of energy, but the quickening of your spirit, that's that great energy that comes over you. You're supposed to have a certain, because you have that connection to the greatest energy in the universe, the Most High through His Son. That's the greatest energy source in the universe, and you're supposed to have that connection, and you're supposed to keep your energy high, even if your flesh is weak. The spirit is willing. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. And that's basically, man, what the scripture is going to keep talking about. The flesh is rotten. The flesh is weak. The flesh goes off, but your spirit is supposed to be basically you're supposed to be going back into the ways of your forefathers. Your spirit is supposed to be willing. Your spirit is supposed to be full of life. That's one of the reasons that we follow the law. Your spirit can't be full of life if you're a homosexual, or if you're fucking somebody else's wife, or you're eating pork and all these defiled foods that basically have all kind of toxins and parasites in them. Okay, your spirit can't be pure with all these evil, vile things coming into your body. Your spirit can't be pure if you're smoking weed. It's just like I said, man. The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. You're the salt, Matthew 5:13. You're the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. And that's what happened to us, man. We lost our savor, we lost our flavor, and we were cast out and trodden under the feet of men. And we were thrown into slavery, we were captured, and here we are. And no, it wasn't a fucking choice. You're the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Once again, light, energy. Then it's going to say in verse 16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And part of those works is following the law to the best of your ability. Staying on point, staying in the spirit. Because it's not just about the law, it's about your spirit too. And then, of course, verse 17, think that I am not come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Once again, the law is important. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. And then I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. I don't want to go too long, but it's just our people are making excuses, man. You got a lot of people who are Israelites who I've come across, and you talk to them, and they're still in the dead state. They still want to follow the ways of the world. They know that they're Israelites. They know Esau's the devil, but then they don't want to grow and to build on that. Is there a language for us that we're supposed to go into? Is there customs that we're supposed to follow that's going to put us into the spirit? If so, what are these things? But you have that Hebrew, and the pure Hebrew, like Esau said, the Paleo Hebrew, and then you have the so-called Assyrian or Aramaic Hebrew. You have these things, and then I'm gonna copy off of the apostle. I'm gonna quote him what he said back during New Year's when he coined this the year of prophecy. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7, because exhortation, that's part of putting you in the spirit. That's part of your growth. You have to keep growing. Just like our elders and apostles keep saying, you have to keep growing. You have to keep going. You have to correct mistakes. You can't just stay stagnant and expect nobody to say anything to you, anything like that. That's not the spirit you want to be in. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:15. The Most High hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is He that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. And you have a lot of Israelites. They don't even believe in the Apocrypha. They don't read out of the Apocrypha. You gotta, come on, God, hey, man. You gotta. It's a blessing to have received the word, man. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, and you gotta want to have it, and you gotta want to. Scriptures talk about brothers having talents, man. You gotta use your talents. One of the talents that we all have is understanding, which that's in second. I believe that's in second Esdras, but understanding, man, that's a talent in itself. Reading comprehension, that's a talent in itself. You be able to read stuff and go into it and break it down. And if you can't necessarily do it, you have somebody who can, and they probably have already done it. A lot of this stuff is already on YouTube. Verse 16, for in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. Yep, knowledge of workmanship. Brothers talk about getting trade, being able to work with your hands, being able to produce something. Because a lot of our people, especially right now in the job market, they're just in somewhere in a factory or whatever. They don't really have any talents. They're just showing up, getting a check, and then they'll get fired or whatever. And you'll do the job bounce. You bounce to this job. Hey, when you have a knowledge of workmanship, though, that's something you can always go back to until you get old and you pass it down, or you pass it on to somebody who also needs a level of workmanship. And that's another thing that understanding the scriptures is workmanship. And the labor, I'm paraphrasing, but the labor, basically, you're supposed to show that you're worthy of hire. Verse 17, for he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of elements. We're given the genesis of how things started, including the different tribes, aka the families that are on the earth, or let me say the nations that are on the earth, where it was created, how it was created, the first nation that was placed on the earth, all the different things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua did that are revealed in Genesis and the Apocrypha and different other places through the prophets. The beginning, ending, and midst of times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons. Yeah, we know the seasons are changed by basically it's all Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but of course the medium for him to do that is through the earth rotating through the different cycles of the moon, which represent different times and seasons, including the Passover, including the Sabbath, the circuits of years and the positions of stars. Yep, the years circulate. Just like here in America, we kind of follow loosely after the Julian calendar, very loosely, and then Esau throws his pagan customs, Christmas, Easter, all these pagan customs that are part of the circuit. And just like it was highlighted a couple years ago, the Mayan calendar, right? They said the Mayan calendar ended, but really it's just a cycle. It starts back over. That's what a year is. It's cycles of the moon. Then it starts right back over. The natures of living creatures, the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, the reasonings of men. Yep, the reasonings of men. The diversities of plants. Yeah, going back to the reasonings of men, it comes to a certain point where after you've listened for a certain amount of time, you can start to read people, and based on what they say, you can kind of read their understanding of things, and you want to use that to bring edification, bring out the true understanding of the Bible, so you can put them on the correct path. But we know, of course, from studying the reasonings of men, from Esau and his elite on down, that a lot of it goes back to, if not all of it, goes back to worshiping Satan and following the agenda that goes along with that. The diversities of plants and the virtues of roots. That's right. That's another big one too. Using the herbs, cleansing yourself, because the herbs do help, with cleansing. And now you have a lot of that going back. GMS, Honor Thy Physician, and you got the other brother GMS on there. You got a lot of brothers bringing out the herbs, getting into the herbs and the oils, going back into it. And once again, these are all different things that the prophets showed forth. These are the things that the prophets were into. So if you say that you study the Bible, you're a prophet or you're a teacher, these are the things that you're supposed to be following and getting into. And this is why the Apostle Tahar brought it out at the beginning of the year. He wanted to set the tone, and he wanted men on the correct path. And these are the different standards of things that you're supposed to know about. And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know. For wisdom, which is the work of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, onely, manifold, subtile, lively. Yeah, wait a minute. It's talking about your spirit, how your energy should be. You shouldn't be depressed. You shouldn't be, down and out, even though your flesh has its moments of weakness. But like I said, holy, onely, manifold, subtile, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. And that's, if your spirit gets cloudy, that's definitely a verse you can reflect on to find out how you should be. So the whole chapter is good. You can read the chapter. I just want to use that to highlight what the energy should be for all Israelites, including myself, because you have a lot of confusion, unfortunately, of men who picked up the Bible, or they saw something on YouTube and they misunderstood the tone of how the prophets should be. Because you have a lot of entertainment Israelites, unfortunately. That's kind of the hot topic right now. With that being said, man, I hope that was edifying. Call hello, Yabashim, Yawashabashim, Kwakadash. Shalom to you, sincere Akim out there. Of course, double honors my apostle. It was a great millstone. Shalom.